One of the most anticipated Korean series this season is Money Heist, an adaptation of the original Spanish series that broke records a few years ago and is still going strong. Although many might think that the original series is much better, we can't forget that this is a remake but with a different backstory, and that the Korean cast and production has done an incredible job. But what were the most shocking and surprising moments of the Korean version? What captivated its fans so that they are ready and waiting for the next season? That's why today I want to tell you about the most shocking moments of Money Heist Korea version. But first, remember to subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell to be among the first to see our content. The story begins with the union of the two Koreas, North Korea and South Korea. This is a great story as we know that the war between these two countries has been unresolved for years and currently they are still in tension. This story is different from the original as it contains elements of Korean culture, and this gives a different touch to the series. Besides, we all know that the writers of Korean series are experts in capturing the feeling of the people, and they always surprise us with their great stories and dramas. Undoubtedly one of the most incredible moments of the series, and one that left us all wanting much more, was when Denver's father discovers that his son supposedly murdered a pregnant hostage on orders from Berlin. We see how he loses control and everything gets complicated. They were all in a room discussing whether Berlin should remain in charge while the professor was unavailable. Everything started to get out of control and they began to talk about the death of the hostage. While all this is happening, Denver's father hears what happened, and that's where one of the most intense parts of the series begins. Denver's father loses control when he finds out and suffers a fainting spell. He then turns away and, evidently affected, begins to walk towards the exit. For the moment, we see images of Denver and his father talking. The amazing thing about this part is that we see how Denver's father tells his son that he had worked so hard to make his life different from his and not end up as a criminal in jail. Basically, the plan was this last hit, and with that money, they would change and stop committing crimes. But something unexpected happened, and that is that Denver's father opened the front door of the mint and started to walk out. This gave way to one of the most shocking and dramatic scenes of the series. Denver's father begins to walk towards the exit as the police begin to take position. Denver, seeing this, follows him and they both fall in front of the building. Denver's father tells him that he will take the blame for the pregnant woman's death and that it is time to end it. While all this is going on, Berlin has a plan and has many of the hostages come out armed and wearing the masks outside the building, and thus confuse the police as everything turns into chaos. The director of the mint rebels and begins to point his gun at the other people, and it seems that everything would get out of control. But what happened is that they all leave their weapons, and only the director of the mint with the gun. The police thought he was one of the criminals, so they shoot and wound the director of the mint. Another of the epic moments of the series, and that many were delighted, was what happened after the director of the mint was shot. He was wounded and is in danger of death, so he needs emergency surgery in order to survive. That made the police come up with the perfect plan to put an end to the situation. The plan is to infiltrate several special policemen with the same uniform and masks. Then inside they would neutralize the criminals and put an end to the situation. But what they never imagined was that the professor had another plan prepared for them. Just when the police team entered and were about to take control of the place, something incredible happened. And it was that the professor ordered to change the masks of all the hostages. So when the doctors began to leave, the infiltrated policemen realized the great trap in which they had just fallen. If the police continued with their plan, they would fail, because now they would not have the same uniform, the same masks, and they would be an easy target. That is why they had to abort the plan, and once again the professor was one step ahead of the police. Undoubtedly, this series has many other situations which filled us with a lot of action and drama. Tell me which part of the series impacted you the most and comment here. If you like this video, don't forget to share it with your friends.